like to call to order the Canal Winchester Landmarks Commission meeting for December 16th, 2025. The time is currently 7:01 p.m. Roll call, please.
David Craycraft.
Here.
Pat Lynch.
Here.
Whitmore Dell.
Here.
Pete Lynch.
Here.
Roger White. Here. I'd like to make a motion, we excuse Linda Henry and Rich Dobda from tonight's meeting.
I'll second.
Second.
Roll call, David Craycraft.
Yes.
Pat Lynch.
Yes.
Whitmore Dell.
Yes.
Pete Lynch.
Yes.
Roger White, yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes for the November 24th, 2025 Landmarks Commission meeting.
I'll second.
Roll call, David Craycraft.
Yes.
Pete Lynch.
Yes.
Roger White, yes. Whitmore Dell.
Yes.
Patrick Lynch.
Abstain. Passed.
The first item on tonight's agenda is CA 25046. The address of subject property is 126 East Waterloo Street. The request this evening is to demo the existing garage and construct a 688 square foot addition to the rear of the house. This application was tabled during last month's Landmarks Commission meeting. For frame of reference, based off of that meeting, photographs of the front and rear of the home, the detached garage that's proposing to be removed. Here's the rear of the home. Part of the rear yard is fenced in. The applicant is looking to remove the existing detached garage to install a new addition to the rear of the house. The addition would have a attached garage facing the alley. This application, again, just for frame of reference, does note that there's a gravel driveway off of the alley. Zoning regulations require it to be paved. Along with the addition on the back of the house, there is a new concrete patio that's proposed to go where the existing garage is being removed. One of the administrative questions I had for the applicant this evening was, where are the limits to that concrete patio? I was unable to find a line work that matched it, kind of tying into something else. But that could also be a clarification for the commission as well. Last month, the applicant provided an example with a board and batten finish on the garage component, while the addition to the living structure was a horizontal siding. Feedback from the Landmarks Commission was to explore alternatives, as well as taking a look at the roofing for the house to make that consistent with the proposed addition. The applicant has indicated that the existing house that has the red 3-tab will be removed and be reshingled to match the rest of the addition. Two options have been provided for the garage component. Option A is a horizontal siding to match the rest of the first floor. And then option B is for a hardy shake siding to mimic the wood shakes on the second story of the primary residence. The applicant's here to answer any questions you have for him. Dave, I don't mind if you sit up here right now to go over this.
On the option with the shakes, it'll have a staggered edge, just like the existing ones. And I know Hardy does have a staggered edge, and they also have a straight edge.
Are those smooth shakes or are they textured, Dave?
They're textured. Here's I believe they're slightly textured. You really can't tell anything there other than
So refresh my memory, I've read through the notes and everything, but the shake siding, was that added as a request from last month's meeting?
You
The
mean-
garage,
The ex-
the shake siding, the cedar shake siding profile?
Well, the comment last week was we didn't want to add another siding dimension to an already existing house that has shakes and horizontal lap siding.
Was it board and batten last time?
So they wanted board and batten?
Yes, it was board and batten.
Okay.
Yeah, we were mixing three
So-
different
three of them.
elements.
So then you switched it to this then, right?
Either this or this.
Or just lap siding.
Yeah, so
Okay,
there's
slab
two
siding.
options proposed.
And it's all going to be painted the same. It'll be white.
Pat, I personally like just the break of not having so much linear horizontal siding
Yeah.
going from front to back.
Agreed.
And not adding in that third
I get,
siding
if
element.
it's all painted the same, I think it'd be fine, or even if it's just a slight shade different. It just looks, in the drawing, it looks busy. But that's just the shadowing of the,
Right.
the texture of the lines and such, but, yeah, I think that'd be fine. My only question, looking at this one, was, I like the layout, the design, the rear load garage, it's all good stuff, I think it's good use of space, existing concrete. Is this driveway going to be removed completely? No.
Existing drive will stay.
To remain, okay, got it.
And chances are, I mean, it's really, from the back of the house to the garage, it's all
That's a
crack,
shared
a lot of
driveway.
cracks.
It is a shared driveway.
Okay, got it. No, that makes a little more sense then.
There's a pull-through on that house to the right, the carport that you can pull
Okay.
through, but it is a shared space.
What we're probably gonna do is all cut like this over to here and replace all of this, and then this will be a pad too.
Got it, okay.
I mean, you can see how it's all broken up.
Yeah.
And she might
does.
decide to replace all the bad concrete drives.
Could we see that overview with the concrete pad, please, Andrew? What's the purpose of that? Is it just
This.
The purpose of what?
the concrete
That
pad there?
concrete pad there,
She just wanted someplace to put her picnic table and other things, like during the summertime.
if you want outdoor patio space of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any plans for any vegetation or buffering of that space from the rear that you know of, Dave? That
No,
concrete
I
pad?
don't know. I mean, she's talked about trees and things like that, so it will be slightly landscaped.
My only concern from our office was basically from the road all the way back to the last 24 feet of the lot was gonna be just a solid strip of concrete. And so I wasn't sure how this patio, if it was broken up and there was a gap, but just the way we were thinking about it, worst case scenario is someone could fit like 3 30-foot RVs on this driveway and still have room to park 2 cars, and those are things that we try to.
Well, the concrete won't, the new concrete won't extend back to the alley.
No, but
That's
just
all
thinking
gonna be-
about like how long and straight this is. Someone could
Oh,
actually
yeah.
just drive through the lawn, get back through the alley, and all of a sudden you have this just really long. So
Looks like
I wasn't
runway.
sure how this is broken up to define the patio not being the old driveway.
I immediately, when I'm looking at this, I want to see something here being planted, cut this concrete back, put some greenery or something here so you can still walk back, instead of making that concrete, since, well, there's a lot of concrete here already. I think maybe make that, even as concrete pavers or red brick or something, I think would look so much better, and at least break that up, create a minimum 5-foot space right there, put some greenery there. I think will go a long
Why
way.
don't I,
Pardon?
why don't I come back with a plan
Yeah,
to show you what.
I think that'll go a long way to really, it'd be so simple to do, and it
Yeah.
would just aesthetically improve that. The only other concern I had with this with the overall layout is, it's got some windows and such, but on the garage, it seems like a pretty stark wall. Has there been any thoughts about maybe adding windows here or here to kind of break up that
I think it was
solid
more of a,
facade?
I think it was more of a security thing, but I can,
Because most of the garage is in the Old Town area, and I'm thinking, I gotta revert back to the picture of the one they're wanting to demo. A lot of them do have a side, yeah, it's got a window on the side of it.
okay, okay.
Is
It's
there,
just, it's a minor little thing, but boy, it does aesthetically make a huge difference, I
Okay.
think.
so both sides? Okay.
Both sides. I think, you know, at least one on the side with the man door, and then the opposite side, which would be the west side, if I'm looking at this correctly. The west side here, either one or doing two to kind of,
Well, actually, it'd be over there.
wait, that's the old one, yeah. Doing one or in the center, or doing two, kind of to, you know, somewhat mimic what's on the
Okay.
over here. I think it'll really break up that whole facade.
Okay.
Yeah. And I understand it's
I'll just go
security,
ahead.
but you know what? Someone wants to get in through a garage door, they're getting in through the garage door. Window ain't gonna, you know, make any difference.
So do you want, is one window okay on the west side, or do you want two?
Kind of feel
I
like
think one would be-
one's gonna be enough.
I think one would be fine,
Two
yeah.
beside it there.
Two would look cool, but one, I'm a Windows guy, but,
Okay, I'll show a window, one window on the west side,
yeah.
and you want one on the east side,
I
next
think
to
it
the
would look
door.
nice, yes, yeah. Where that man door is. And the man door can actually, if you gotta scoot that in order to make way for the window there, I think it'd be fine.
Okay.
Dave, is the offset rear garage door just because of the existing driveway now?
There is no driveway back there.
There's no-
Actually,
no
she
drive,
wanted
no.
she wanted a bigger garage. And it was more, the offset on the east side is more for storage.
Okay.
It does give more workable space.
Sure.
Yeah. Wish I had a garage that big.
Shed. Can we see the pictures of the existing house, please? Just looking at it's hard to see what the window trim, I'm kind of looking at those little windows under the eave there. Are those wood trim, or is that actually wrapped? Is that coil? Dave, do you know?
No, but let me see if I've got a picture.
Looks like it's got a header detail.
This line right here.
Yeah, I mean, it's
A
thick
drip
enough.
edge or like a
Can't tell. Looks
half round or something?
looks a little more substantial than just a drip. It could just be a cap.
Could be capped
There's
with a drip line
no
over.
apron, they just got a sill, which is,
You know what, I don't think it's wrapped. I think it's,
doesn't look,
wood.
oh, yeah. So will the new trim be a three-sided casing, like the existing with a
A sill?
continuous sill, no apron?
Yes. It'll match, the windows will match what's there. I mean, the existing.
I guess that chimney's going out too?
Yes,
Yeah, I think
that was
that's the
discussed
plan.
last month.
It's not functional now, Dave, the chimney.
No, it's not functional.
It looked historic in it.
It's coming
That's what
down.
it means.
One item for the commission I could offer as a suggestion, just to keep this moving for the applicant and property owner. If it sounds like the applicant is willing to add the two windows to the garage, and the other kind of comment was modifying the patio separation.
Yes.
If the patio is removed from tonight's discussion to come back as a future agenda item, then I think if the rest of the commission's okay with omitting the patio tonight and have it come back later, that would help with, I'm assuming she has to still close on like financing and building permits and
Yeah,
all the above.
Help to expedite their process on their part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that from my end, because it would just be an easy review
Okay.
after the fact. The one thing I would just recommend is if there is any vote tonight with conditions, would be that the gravel driveway has to be a paved surface.
yeah.
That would be a staff comment to be added,
Concrete brick or something.
as long as it's a paved surface, not gravel as noted.
Okay. Dave, does it specify what that roofing was? In here somewhere?
Well, it'll be asphalt, it'll be that one right there,
Just wasn't sure what.
just an
Is that
asphalt.
stated in here, what the color is?
No, the sample was to be provided, so I'm not sure of the name,
What's that?
the brand of shingle.
Owens.
It's whatever's on that sheet.
I don't think there's a brand on there, but I can get that to you tomorrow.
Yeah, just wasn't sure.
But everything will be roofed with that, the same color.
So, I don't think we've talked too much about these doors. Could we see a picture again of the side of the house with the driveway? So that looks like a newer door there on the side. Are these all gonna match?
Yes.
Okay. It's just a 9-light, 2-panel 9-light.
Do you have enough, do you have a more direct head on that, Andrew?
I do not.
Yes,
Drawing
it'll
shows-
match that.
Drawing shows 2 horizontal panels. Looks like they're vertical.
Well, see, there's the rear door also that will come off. They might reuse that door, but it'll be a nightlight just like the one on the siding. Well, there, yeah, there's a better picture of it right there on the side.
Is that a fiberglass
Mhm.
door? Yeah, they soak up. Oh, wow. Any further questions?
No, I was just ciphering out the steps on the addition going up to that door when the other one's at ground level. I see there's interior steps. One of those houses where you walk into the house and you go immediately up 3 steps to get to the main level. Love that design. But anyway, yeah, I kind of answered that question.
Dave, what type of soffit
Hardy.
details? Hardy soffit. What about ventilation?
Well, the soffit will be vented.
Using like a strip vent?
No, it's, I mean, I think it's just regular, it's got perforations in the hardy soffit.
Okay, yeah, okay, I got you.
Gutters are to match existing.
Yeah, the original house, the
Oh,
existing house is
K-style.
K-style.
Mm-hmm, yes.
Okay.
No other questions?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve application CA-25-046 with, we're going to omit the patio from tonight's application for future application. That the roof is all to be replaced and all match with new dimensional asphalt shingles. The driveway is not to be gravel, but rather a paved material. And we didn't talk about the siding on this. Are we in agreement that the shakes are the way to go with option B?
Shakes are the way to go.
Yes?
Yes.
And then also, we're gonna add one window to each side, the east and west side of the garage. That the doors are to be fiberglass 2-panel 9 lights to match the existing. And that the gutters will be K-style gutters to match the existing.
I'll second that.
Roll call. Patrick Lynch,
Yes.
Wardell.
Yes.
Roger White, yes. Pete Lynch,
Yes.
David Craycraft.
Abstain.
That'd be 4.
Let me run all these conditions back through you. Number 1, omit the patio. 2, roof, all match with new dimensional asphalt. 3, paved driveway. 4, shake siding on garage. 5, 2 windows added to the garage, 1 to the east, 1 to the west. 6, the doors be fiberglass and 9 light. And then 7, K-style gutters.
Yep. Yes.
Okay, I want to make sure I didn't miss anything there.
And the siding, did you mention the siding?
Yeah, siding was option B with the shake.
Shake
with the garage.
siding, option B. Okay. Thank you. The next application for tonight's agenda is CA 25049. This application was also tabled at last month's meeting. This applicant was requesting to demo the existing house to construct a new single-family house on the existing foundation. Based on last month's landmarks meeting, the commission was invited to go take a look at the house to warrant if additional criteria as noted in the demolition considerations was required for the evaluation of demoing the existing home. I believe most, if not all of you, went to tour that house to take a look at it, to see if this demolition consideration was deemed necessary. The applicant, since your on-site visit, has amended their application to not demo the existing house to the foundation, rather keep the existing floor framing, floor decking, and the front left, right, and front framed walls of the original structure, while removing the rear wall, which is a portion of the addition that was added to the house in 2003, to rebuild with those existing walls and first floor frame deck and existing foundation for the new house that will be on the same footprint of the lot. So again, based off of last month's discussion, here's the updated site plan showing the new house on the existing foundation. We'll have a future application discussed next about the garage, detached garage to be in the back. The floor plan has not changed since your last review, but when looking at the front elevation here, to go over some of the changes with the commission. As presented last month, this front porch patio was going to be a historic architectural brick that was going to be a true brick with a concrete cap on it. The applicant has modified this item to be a brick veneer to be attached to a concrete slab, the porch. I believe it was that example that was brought to last month's meeting. The window trim, the lower section of the windows here, the sill has been updated since last month's review. The applicant has updated the rendering a little bit to show some line work for the standing seam metal roof on the gable ends. Moving on to the back, no changes other than the lower window trim. To the side, the only change that's notable on the two side elevations is the asphalt shingle has changed brands and type from the last review. And then looking at the south elevation here, again, no changes other than the lower window trim and the notes for the asphalt shingles. I went through and updated the applicant's letter here, just to note that they have committed to doing an LP siding, the Certainty Landmark Pro fiberglass shingle, and the same Anderson Series 200 windows, as noted previously. The applicant still notes that the columns will be a non-structural fiberglass or composite material, that they did bring to last month's meeting different paint samples, light fixtures, roofing. I know a lot of that stuff we did not really get into during last month's meeting, but I believe they still have the information this evening to discuss. Applicants here to kind of talk about their updates they've made. I think I would like to give them the opportunity to talk about what they've done since last month's meeting before you guys ask questions. I think that may be a little more informative since you all had time to visit the property in person, to maybe see why their mindset had changed from a complete demo from the foundation to trying to save some of the first floor. I thought that'd be helpful to go that route rather than asking questions first. So if you could indulge me to let them present, that would be my preference this evening.
Yeah, first off, just want to thank you all for your patience with me being out of town for the first landmarks meeting. I probably could have helped avoid some of the, things that were up in the air, but very much appreciate you guys coming out to the property. I know that many of you got to talk with Chip, who was here for the last meeting, not here for this meeting, but and got a better understanding of what maybe our plan is with this. Again, the biggest, I think, adjustment from that original submission was keeping the existing front three exterior walls. Our measurement that we brought last week was off as to the original ceiling height. It's actually good news on my end, because we can essentially achieve the same ceiling height with the original framing. And so we're excited about keeping that, and that original floor decking as well. So that, I think, was a big point of clarity that we wanted to make today, that we do want to maintain that existing structure. Some smaller adjustments, just as we had more time to look at it and fine tune. We clarified the material on those eyebrows right there. Is that the right term, Steve? Yeah, the returns right there. And got some clarity and honed in on that siding material, as well as just some other small details, specific, like the exact shingle we wanted to use. I think the general feedback of the group, the way we received it, was good remarks on the exterior design, maybe a little busy. And so that's why we try to make some adjustments on like the bottom window trim. Just subtle things that maybe tried to tone it just a bit down, while still achieving what we want. So that was really the goal in that. Steve, am I missing anything? So, yeah, I'm good.
Can we ask questions?
I think Steve wants to break open on us.
Does that come out of the thing at all?
Just don't put the karaoke lyrics up there, 'cause you don't want me to do that.
So what song are we singing? No.
Yeah, that's right. Although I've had the We Three Kings stuck in my head since yesterday. So maybe we do want to do karaoke so I can flush that out. So I do want to add to this, the other thing that we did on the window trim is the side pieces originally were, had some profile to it. It was rounded with a couple little notches and things. We simplified that into a flat as well. So the side and the sill are going to be flat. We did add a little 3/4 inch thick stool on the sill that was there on those windows. And we did keep the window crown on the first floor. Yeah.
Give me a second. Bear with me. I'm trying to make some magic happen here.
Technical difficulties.
All right, for a frame of reference, November is going to be on the left.
there's a great, thank you. It's a good side-by-side.
So it's the old, that's just the new.
It's the old and the new. It's subtle, especially on the front, but when you see it also on the sides and the way that the fenestration patterns on both of the sides, it does simplify that. Also showed the
I
standing
see.
seam, yeah. So it is, we did keep the crown, the head, window head crown on the first floor. And that is because we looked at it as flat. And it was one of those situations when you looked at it, you knew something wasn't right, but you couldn't quite put your finger on it. But something wasn't right. So what I did is I took a look at, there's a home here, I think it's on Washington Street, that's kind of like an olive green that has white trim. And it also has a very, like a 4.5-inch or 4-inch horizontal siding with white window trim, like that. So,
I think it's my house.
is it,
Columbus Street?
I think it was.
Was this the one that was Kayla Smith's place that
The one
was
that just painted.
just redone?
Oh, okay, yeah, just across the street from us then.
Was
Yeah.
it two-story house? Or right?
Yeah, two-story.
It
It's
was
kind of like
right
a,
behind us here.
it's like a darker green, like an olive color green with white trim.
There you go.
But yeah, the detail of that I think looks nice, the header on the first floor windows, I think it goes well with what's being done on the porch too. I think it just blends in nicely.
And that's kind of why we wanted to keep that, is because, you know, the whole, that porch itself with the room extended over it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the house. And we just wanted to carry that around. The other thing I wanted to point out that I don't think it made the cut on the last hearing, but what we look at here is, this is the preservation district. And so the question is, what is it that we're preserving? Right, so we can preserve physical, the structure that's there, we can preserve the history, we can preserve a lot of things. So inherent in this design are some subtle nods to the history of this property and the overall site. So that foundation and that house that's there now, the main piece of it, was built in 1922. And we want to keep that same foundation and reuse it. We do, and I'll address this here in a minute, we're going to keep 3 of the original walls on the first floor. And I had said on that last hearing that the ceiling height I thought was like 7.3 or 7.6, something like that. And so I have 3 projects with existing structures on my drawing board that are all from the early 20s. And I got that one mixed up on the ceiling height because they're all real short. And that was just I just got the 2 things mixed, and that was on me. I just had too many numbers in my head. But I'm glad that you were able to go look at it, because we did hear a lot of feedback. We did try to incorporate as much of that as we can. So back to the preservation issue. There are some wood plank floors up in the attic. There is some on the first floor. Some of it has to be replaced and taken out. What we want to try to preserve that as much as we can and incorporate it somehow in the new home. So maybe what we're looking at right now, I mean, knock on wood, we still have to pull it out and make sure we have enough to do it, but we'd like to make the stair treads out of the original floorboards, you know, and some of the trim or some of those pieces and parts that we can reuse, we want to incorporate that in here. And if you look at, in this case, the shed dormers on this, that roof pitch on the shed dormers is on purpose. That's the same pitch on the existing house. And then also, if you look at the where the rake ends on the shed dormers, that little detail, Andrew, I don't know, do you have a photo of the one I could pass around? Yeah, if you can zoom in on that eave. So that's the same
I got more
detail.
pictures.
So we were trying to take some of the parts and pieces and some of the small details on the existing and copy it over to the new. So the roof pitch is mirrored on the shed dormer. The eave detail is mirrored on the dormer. And then the location. So we want to reuse as much as we can on the inside. And so there's more to, what we looked at with more than preservation than keeping materials, if that makes sense. We tried to fit a lot of that into the design to kind of.
Repurpose.
Yeah, on purpose, yeah, it wasn't.
Repurpose.
Pardon?
Repurpose.
Yes, repurpose, yeah. And, Peter, you gave a very good statement at the last one, where you're talking about some of these homes, they've got good bones. And why don't we restore them? They should be brought back. And there's room on that soapbox for both of us, right? Because I'm there with you. But there is, in this case, there's a difference in restoration versus preservation. And this is in the preservation district. So I took the design and kind of aimed at it through that. It was through that lens that this was put together. But there isn't anything on here that's not intentional. It wasn't somehow tried to be tied into the existing site and the history of that land, that particular land.
I will say too, I'm sure you've seen some of our signs around town and the properties that, really the whole goal of what we're trying to do here is to not demolish properties, and to reuse what we can and to honor the historical integrity of it. And what I was excited about with this house in particular was we could take off a lot of, I think you guys discussed it last meeting, that addition that doesn't really fit the original architecture of the house. Right now, the two different types and sizes of siding that are on the property, you kind of still have some of the original beadboard wood siding on that one-car garage that has the shed that's kind of attached to it. And it's just kind of a mixed bag of different eras. And so when Steve and I first got together, this was the first property that we started working on, it was really our goal to say, okay, if this home were, these changes and additions and things were made in the area in which it was built, how can we try to honor that? And of course, there's all sorts of other things we try to consider, budget and what's possible, and some things that we're happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, and even trying to keep the original massing, or very similar massing, which is why we extended the porch out and kept that whole facade at the 1.5 story level, rather than just going full out 2 stories, because we want the streetscape to, we want it to look like a different house, but we want it to look like a similar house. And so that's what we were trying to do, is making sure that the design, that what's there now, with 1922, it's 103 years old. Fast forward 103 years from today, what's going to be there? I think there's a better shot of the photo on the right still being there than the one on the left. And that's what we wanted to do, was put our mark on that property historically.
And the person to blame for this kind of adjustment for this house is Dr. Kelly's house, and the individual who redid that house, and they look so beautiful. And the walks I take with my wife down Trine Street. That was so cool to do. And then here we are.
Well, thank you. There was quite an argument on the demo of that property too. Yeah, as part of that discussion.
Well, the end result.
I wish they'd had the foresight that you guys have right now, yes.
I mean, there's a lot of thought that goes into something like this. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
It's not, you don't just type a few keys and hit enter and it kind of spits it out on the printer. I wish it were that easy, but, part of a design like this goes into, like I checked out the Ohio Historical Society. And I found a couple of old photographs. We did a research and we tried to be intentional in keeping our boundaries narrow based on what the existing property has and what it contributes currently. So,
I'd like to say a few things here, if that's okay with everybody. First and foremost, I really think you've done a great job. You've talked a little bit about some subtle nods, I think were your term. The overall shape and massing of the house, and you kind of just raised the existing roof line with that 612 pitch up and kept the eave returns or pork chops or bird box, whatever you want to call those. That's another name that people refer to them as pork chops. But I like that you've kept that on the upper. And I was a little torn on the lower portion, but that's kind of grown on me the more, and the more I've researched historical architecture and how where the pork chops came from. And it became a shortcut, and it's not always a shortcut. It's oftentimes almost the same amount of work, and they're just not architecturally appropriate. But I do like the carryover that you've kept that. Probably wasn't that way on the beginning on this house. Somebody probably redid it and reshaped it a little bit. But I like that carryover. My only issue with the architectural here is the floor columns. There's very few houses in Canal here that have that kind of Tuscan revival characteristics. Although I like the sizing, you've got houses on both sides of this that are 2 stories, so it kind of fits. It's not overpowering. But I just feel like the 2 on each side is a little heavy. I know it kind of helps hide the different size windows. Pat, I'm not sure if you noticed that or not.
I did, yeah. And I can comment further on it, but go ahead.
In my opinion, I just feel like that's the one thing that's a little heavy. I love what you did with the windows and dressing the sills down just a little bit. I don't mind the crown detail on the first floor and dressing it down on the second floor. I think that's a nice touch as well. One thing I would say on the eave returns, the boxed cornice return, I think you had black metal for those originally. I tend to think those look much more authentic when they're the same color or close to as the fascia as the trim, where they're not such a stark contrast. I like the return, I like the detail there, but I'm not sure black is the answer on that particular part. Aside from that, I think the proportions are nice. It's a massive improvement. We take each property as its own. Some of the houses that surround us in this neighborhood have a tremendous amount of architectural character and detail. Some, like this one, in my opinion, I feel like it really doesn't. Just doesn't have a whole lot to offer. It didn't from the beginning. Of course, some of that's probably been covered up, and it's hard to say what was there, but it's nothing like what you've created here. I think there's some room for improvements in these neighborhoods, again, on a individual basis. This one doesn't bother me too much. Now, with that said, I don't know how much you all looked around. The one thing that scares me about this project, for you, and you do what you want with it, but that basement is scary to me. And I as a builder, I know what kind of investment you're going to have in this and how tight that may or may not be in the end. My concern is just sticking with that foundation and have you hopefully had several engineers in there to look at that and make a really solid plan. Because I just feel like if I went in to buy this house knowing what's going to go into it and the price tag that you're likely going to have on it, which I'm also excited about. But I know I know how that goes, and I know from a buyer's perspective, I would be looking at that foundation and saying, man, this is a brand new house on a 1922 problem. So that's for y'all to figure out. I just felt like I wouldn't be doing my due diligence if I didn't throw my
That's
perspective
fair.
in on that. I spent a fair amount of time while I was there looking that over, and that was one area that I know it can be fixed, but it's always gonna look fixed, so. Yeah, I bet.
That was my concern, because, you know, being a taller nature, when I'm sitting there and the floor joists are right here, and I'm thinking, this is going to be virtually a new house with a 1920s basement, if that, you know, so.
I have that.
And so along that, I'm glad you brought that up, Peter, because I have scratched my head over that foundation. We have talked with structural, we've talked about it in-house quite a bit. And even preserving the 3 walls, the 2 sides and the front of the original framing, we're still going to have to do some foundation repairs. We're still going to have to rework those anchor bolts. We need some new anchor bolts put in there because it needs to be to current code. So that, we want to have a sealer in there, which is another code issue. So a lot of that's going to be, especially around those top courses, are going to be very gingerly cared for and put back. There's some of them that we know, there's I think 2 for certain of that original glazed CMU that we're not able to keep just because it's just crumbled, you know, it's just old. But we are doing everything we can to source those that matches. And so we, shy of having something fabricated, custom fabricated, but I think we can match it pretty close. What we are
Is it a split face block? Or is
No,
it's actually,
It's like a glazed block.
It's glazed
It's
block,
not, it's
okay.
not a split face. What we may, it's also painted, many layers over the years. And so we're going to, whatever new CMU that we put in there is also going to get all repainted to blend in. The other thing that we looked at is, in addition to those anchor bolts and sealer and sill plates, is, you know, our goal originally was to try to get a 9-foot ceiling on that first floor. It's like 8'6". We want to intend to add a second bottom plate, one that's treated, right, treated lumber. We're also going to add a second top plate, which is going to give us 8'9" ceiling after finish with drywall. So we're only about that far off of the 9 feet. So we're cool with that. That's all good.
So with what you just said, you're going to take the floor system out? How are
No.
you going to increase the sill plate height?
No, when we replace when we repair the foundation,
Mhm.
right, that we can prop up the floor system. Some of it has to be shored up and kind of propped up so that we can get under there to work on it. The floor joists are getting evaluated. We're probably going to scab a couple of those, you know, double them in several places. Probably add, we will add some reinforcement under where the kitchen island is going to be in the kitchen, just so that we have, it's a little more stiff. What's there now are 2x8s, but they're actual 2x8, and it's a hardwood. It's not a grade 1 or 2 framing pine that we see now.
I think the goal is to not disturb.
Yeah, we don't want to disturb. But while we're down there, and when we take the roof off, we're going to be able to add a second plate onto the top plate.
So you're adding 2 plates on the top plate, or 1?
2.
2,
Sorry,
so
yeah.
you're adding 3 inches?
Yes, we're adding 3
So
inches.
you're going to get like
My
a,
question to Framer was, how many can we stack on top of each other safely? I think
Yeah.
so you got
So
8,
you
9.
get- you get
Yeah, we got 8, 9.
a hinge point, unless you're really adding some space, then
Right.
you have to skip several studs and add continuous headers. Yeah.
I was trying to fight for it.
So are you, back to Dave's question, are you having to tear out some of the band board in areas in order to?
Some of the band board's gonna get
Foundation.
replaced just because it's damaged, but,
In the sill plate,
on top of.
on top of the foundation
Top
wall.
of the foundation wall. There needs to be a sill, well, one, we need to put new anchor bolts in, because there really aren't, I mean, it's just very, very few. So when we do that, we're gonna be able to set the existing wall right back on that same foundation anchored. When we do that, the bottom plate that's there now, that sits on the foundation, has no sealer, and it's
Right.
not treated. So while we're in there doing that, we're gonna slip a sealer in there with our anchor bolts.
Are you gonna have to make the top course of block solid, which is what code says?
Yeah, code says, we can also grout fill it solid.
Okay.
And so we're planning on doing that. We're also gonna be adding some vertical reinforcement, I think it's the number 5
Mhm.
bar that we're doing every 32 inches, or like every 5th cell or 4th cell. It's gonna be vertically reinforced, and then grout fill all the cells.
Okay.
Are you having to add any structural reinforcements to the inside of that? Just curious, the bowing of the wall, looks like you've got some inward.
We've got some inward things, and we're looking at that. Right now, it looks as though, we kind of looked at hydrostatic and geostatic pressures, and I think if we go through there and grout fill those, add some vertical reinforcement, some structural steel inside of that, true it all up, we think right now that that's going to be able to hold it and keep it from buckling back in. Because right now, there isn't anything in there, it's the block.
Right.
You got some pretty aggressive water coming right onto that, and those gutters are kind of full
Yeah.
up on the south side, which is the right side of the house, looking at it. And then that concrete, just, the driveway right there, takes a pretty aggressive dive down towards, the foundation wall. More so in person than it does in the photo, but,
It's actually sloping towards the house?
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like it's going away there, but
You know, I might have a better photo.
Yeah, it might
here on
be
my phone somewhere, but-
deceptive.
Yeah, it's pretty, when I say aggressively, about 4 or 5 inches per, right going down to the house. We had some pretty good rains in the fall, and the house is April.
So are you planning on having somebody raise that up, or are you gonna tear it all out
Yeah,
and
the plan was to remove it.
remove all the concrete and?
Remove that concrete run right there, because we have to, that concrete that's split in that, I'm not sure how many of you went in that one-car garage out there.
Not much left.
Not much left. Pretty, I mean, that patch just has a big crack right down the middle. It's kind of, looks like it's split in two. So a lot of that is kind of chipping, and I think that's the main issue right there with that foundation on that side. But even as you go on the other side of the home, underneath that little patio that's over there, just a lot deferred. Maintenance on both the right to left or north and south.
That concrete driveway is not part of this application, correct? I don't believe that was mentioned in here.
The site plan there, it does show.
Okay. It does.
So we're gonna have a
Sorry,
concrete
I missed
pad.
that.
Excuse me, and the existing concrete apron is gonna stay, but in the middle there, we're proposing asphalt, hard surface, but asphalt.
You know, I've got a comment on the front elevation. You still show a 9/1 and an 1/8 height,
Oh,
which actually is going to be like 8/9, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
it's-
everything's actually going to come down maybe 3 inches
about 3 inches, yeah.
graphically. Okay. I want to make a comment on the 4 posts or 4 columns. You know, I'm trying to visualize taking the 2 inward, inside columns out, and I don't think that would look right. Just having a column at each corner.
I got a suggestion.
And then I'm thinking, does it make any sense to spread the columns, the inside columns towards the middle just a little bit, just to see what it would look like?
I think part of it is a heaviness too, just they seem really heavy.
That's my point. That's why I was gonna make, what's the diameter of those columns? They look like they're 18-inch. They-
No, but I can.
They look massive.
Yeah, they're not 18, they're closer to, let's see, well, Tuscan order, the height of the column is 7 times the diameter of the base. And so that's part of what the classicism.
Okay.
And I think they were 13 and a half inches?
13 and a half?
Yeah.
You know,
they were-
looking at the entry door, which is likely a 3.0 door, and
Yeah.
those are more than a third
So,
of that door.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're seeing right now, because that's the one thing, I love what you guys are doing here. I think everything is great. I'm not a fan of post blocking windows either. You know, I'm all about views out windows. I think what we're seeing there, like Dave had hit on, and I think these posts are massive. Maybe if you scale them down a little bit and took the 2 center ones and brought them closer between the windows and the doors, but still have a sizable opening there, because you don't want to, dwarf the opening going up to the porch, but slide in a little bit so you can
Yeah.
still get that view, bring them over to about here, almost in line with that, maybe a little closer to the windows, so it still creates a bigger opening coming up to the front door. I think just changing the size of those and sliding that might make a huge difference.
Well, I don't think it should be equidistant between them.
No.
No, I don't think that would,
Oh, between all 4, the 3 openings? No, it doesn't have to be, no.
but
No.
yeah, I think I agree, you scale down the columns
Just
slightly.
kinda open it
and then
around the
open them
window
up a little bit.
So when
Yeah,
we,
And I
yeah.
think it'll be fine.
when we scale down the diameter of the columns, we also shorten the height.
What's the height of the porch, in the back elevation here?
Way it shows up visually.
Yes, that's what I was just going to do. So let me show you this. This is,
Well, I'm just thinking what Pete said. I mean,
Scale
if that's
the
a 36-inch wide door, these are at least almost like 18-inch.
At least 16.
At the base.
In scale, they look like they're.
Yeah, I'm just going by the scale of the drawing, so.
yeah. So that's taken, that shadow there is mid-afternoon in the middle of June. And that gives a pretty good read on the depth of the porch.
While you guys are talking, this was a project, I think, that Dave worked on. I don't know if this helps, but just hearing your feedback on the columns and the spacing, does it make a difference if the columns go to square and they're bigger rather than being rounder and smaller and having 4? This isn't a 17-foot wide porch, but this is still a pretty wide kind of portico in the front of this house, but this was just kind of looking at the general shape and dimensions. I didn't know if switching to something, a different profile made a difference to the applicant and you. Just
Well,
trying
I
to think
think-
creatively here.
On the, your house, I think the fact that it's a tapered column and, obviously up at the top, it's a lot smaller diameter than the bottom.
Yeah.
So I think that works in works in your favor to, to lessen the mass. But I still think if the base of the columns could be, do they come in certain sizes? Are these the
No, this-
concrete columns or, the,
No, these, so these are, they will make that shell per the Tuscan order. And Tuscan order is different than Tuscan style. Tuscan style is Olive Garden. Right? Tuscan order it's one of the 5 orders of classicism, and it's one that's inherently Greek, not Roman, right? So, I'm sorry, it's Roman, not Greek, which is why this is Georgian revival and not Greek revival. It's the
One
Greek.
thing to consider visually, and it's hard to see on this rendering, maybe on the side view rendering a little bit, or maybe with one of the shadows that,
See-
we don't have it here on the counter. Looking at the front of that property, with that porch becoming structural and that, which I'm really excited about the interior of that room, but with that kind of protruding out towards the house, my concern, I think our initial concern when we put those posts there, was that you'd have a heaviness over the house that I didn't want to look like there was, for lack of a better term, toothpicks holding up a heavier structure. Originally, we had done a porch that spanned the entirety of the front of the house. We ended up kind of backtracking on that because we wanted to maintain that current width that's there. And so, and I think that's why I like those colored renderings, because I think it gives maybe a little bit more of a feel for that heaviness that's on that study above the porch. I think that it's a little more visually interesting to have those columns close together. Maybe if they were closer together, would make a little bit more sense.
Because the idea with the columns is it does frame in the entry. And so I did a couple of things that we looked at in trying to frame that and really draw your eye to the entry door. One, if you notice, there aren't carriage lights on that front elevation. We're putting lights in the ceiling of the porch. But what we want to do is get those columns to frame in that front door, that front entry. And so that's why the proportions are what they are.
See, visually, my eyes go to the columns, but maybe that's because the edges of the columns aren't going to be a black heavy line.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's
Yeah.
all going to be,
Yeah, and
And that does-
the other
that
thing,
does
and
help.
this is always hard to articulate, at least for me sometimes, is when you're looking at a drawing like this, it's 0 degrees, it's flat, and we don't have the benefit of perspective. And as soon as that element of perspective is thrown in the mix, everything is different. And I don't view it, and looking at it and just kind of looking sight lines and studying this, because this whole thing is, I've walked through this 100 times in my mind, my head. The columns are actually going to be more a visual block from the outside looking in than from the inside looking out. So when you're on the inside of that family room, and you're looking out the window, you're not right at the window, you're a few feet away from it at best. You add the other 8 feet on the porch in the depth. The column actually prevents the outside seeing in more so than it prevents the inside seeing out.
well, the window on the right has a stair behind it, right?
Yeah, it's the first couple of risers. Yeah, you can see it there.
Yeah, I gotta say, I sit corrected from the standpoint that I didn't realize, I thought that was a flat roof over top of the whole porch, focusing on the front view of this, front elevation. The side elevation, it just
Yeah,
dawned
it's a
on, like,
trim
what in the
piece.
heck's going over top of that
We
thing?
all thought the same thing last
Yeah,
time.
I didn't realize that whole study
At
was
least I
coming
did.
out. I thought that was an 8-foot flat roof.
No, I was real sneaky.
Wow.
So it does change the perspective in
changes,
the
yeah.
massing and holding it up.
Yeah, it
I still feel-
changes a lot.
Still fear there's like a 2-inch scrunching that could happen and still give you that same.
I do agree with that. I think putting them closer together, you're saying more towards the corner? Is that what you're referring to?
I think just slightly downsizing, just the slightest. I mean, because again, in scale, they look 16 inches in diameter, just the column. And then when you take the
But, yeah,
actual
the
base,
base, yeah.
it's even, it'd be even bigger. You know, looking at the side view, you know, it does bring it into perspective a little bit more with the weight. So I struggled with this with my house here on Waterloo, and it took a little while for us to get the size. I mean, we added 6 across the front. And it was difficult to get the size, but I think we're at 12s, and I have a 38-foot long porch. So I think you definitely could come in a little bit and still have enough heaviness to hold up that, you know, that new structure.
Yeah, I'm definitely open to that, for sure.
Yeah.
And I guess I think if you shrink them a little, it's kind of nice how the window casing is central, you know, like kind of looking at it from dead front. Can we see that? Oh, I'm looking at my house now.
You were talking about your house, so I
Yeah.
pulled that.
Yeah, now, I will also say with mine that we were torn between that size and the next size bigger. And I think even on Trine Street house, we went slightly smaller still.
Yes.
And I do like everything on these old bricks, and even this house, there's a ton of straight square line, you know, straight line, square line, so the round does soften it up a little, I think.
Do like the round, and round posts are used a lot here in
Yeah.
this town.
So what are we gonna say, downsize them by 2 inches?
I think they're 13-inch posts, you go down 2 inches, that would make a visual difference.
Yeah.
You said they
Yeah.
are 13 at the base?
The base is 16 at the base.
Base 15.
The base that the column sits on, not the
Oh, yeah.
bottom part of the column.
The base diameter,
The base diameter of the column
yeah,
is 15.
15.
Yeah.
The,
Yeah, I think you reduce that a couple inches, that'd make a huge visual difference. And I think too, are these actually drawn to exact scale at 15?
yeah, I mean, there's.
It's very deceiving.
It is, and I
Yes.
think it's the lack of perspective, and it's also, you know, the dark outline, you know. It's-
Yeah.
I think
drafting
whoever you
technique.
sell this house to will say, I like how you downsized those columns a little bit. I'm glad they weren't any bigger than that.
Tell me about the discussion with the 2 different size windows. I know the purpose, we've got the stair. Was there ever a rendering with downsizing both windows for balance?
But we can do that. The reason that the window on the left in the family room is the size it is because that's an existing window on the original house. The original window is long, it's the same height, but it's narrower. So we added 3 inches on the width of that window, kept it the location and kept the height the same.
So they're the same on the side?
Yeah, and that's why we wanted to carry that around.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that window there is already, I understand why you did it. I just,
Yeah.
sometimes I'm funny with balance.
I thought he was gonna say he kept it because he had a difficult climb.
No, that's on the back. No, I'm just kidding.
That window on the right at the stair,
Mhm.
you can't go down any lower, could you? I mean, that's gotta be a tempered glass window anyway,
Yeah,
right?
exactly, yeah, so we could take it down.
No, I'm thinking taking that down and taking the one on the left up a little bit.
Oh, it's like split the difference?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess I'd like to see them both the same size. But I understand why you did what you did.
Yeah, as we were just preserving the original window location and height, size.
Steve, is the window at the peak in those, I mean, I guess it wouldn't necessarily matter if the first floor windows were the same, and the peak was wrong. It seems to me on the rendering that the windows at the peak is the same as the one above.
It is.
When you're only getting into it, looking at the floor plan, you're into that window with just one step and then maybe the casing on into the second step. I just wonder, definitely seems like you could come down at least
I could-
splitting the difference.
Yeah, I could probably, we could, I think comfortably, let's see.
So the 2 windows on the sides then, are they the same Okay, so then it jumps up, they get higher in the back again. Can I see the other side real quick, Andrew? So there isn't one on that side. So really, you could set all three of those the same.
And so on this elevation, the first floor window.
But you're not, there's no window on.
Oh, on that, oh, yeah, right,
Because of the
correct.
stairs.
Yeah, correct.
So you just have the three, one at the stairs, one to the left of the door, and one around the corner.
Yeah.
Could you split all those so that they all come out the same?
Yeah, we could do that.
Does
I
that
mean,
sound reasonable?
And Pete, you're talking about this window in the back,
No, this is
Just this
the
window
front, yeah,
here.
just that front room, or those,
Yeah.
those
this
three.
window here, and this one gets a little longer.
Correct.
One thing I would ask you guys to consider from my perspective, there's limited natural light in this home with the, we had originally wanted to do a little bit more on that side on the front, which is the living room inside. The bay windows, I thought was a good addition. You can see I was trying to do some additional shorter windows over the right side of the kitchen, that short cabinet wall. You know, I love the idea of the stairs there. The issue is it takes up one of the current existing large windows that brings natural light to this space.
This one.
Yes. The
South facing side there too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the west side of the home right there, east side of the home, right? Where's the sunset?
Verizon East sets in the west.
Yeah.
And
Or-
that sunset's right in that front. It goes through those posts and right through that door, you know, right through the front door. And so, I do understand that proportioning. I struggle with losing any space from windows that we can't keep larger, but I do understand. I would almost rather come up with a solution with the staircase on the right to make that window match the size of the one left, rather than shrinking the other first floor front windows.
Do you have room to come up another step in the upstairs and only one step up to the landing? That would pretty much solve your issue.
Because,
You're losing 4 inches in your first
Correct.
floor height.
right, so we're cutting our
You don't want
floor to
me
floor
step to-
rise is going to be shorter than what that was based on. So I can,
Here we go.
You know what, maybe you don't add another plate to the top.
right,
Because you know what, someone that's come in, they're not gonna say, well, that's not a 9-foot ceiling,
well,
that's
that's
an
only 8'7".
Yeah.
I don't want it.
It's 8, 10 and a half.
Yeah.
I do agree,
So
bigger the windows, the better. If you could get it, if
Yeah.
you could find a
And-
way to do that and keep all the windows that bigger size, that would be great. Because it does look nice.
Hang on, let me do some quick math here.
You can't flip the stair, could you, and put it on the south, on the north side versus the south?
Changes a lot.
Split the stairs on the landing? Do I do a diagonal step on the landing?
Well,
No, I'm just,
We can take one of
Don't
the
say-
risers off of those stairs at the bottom, so instead of 2 risers and then the landing, we could have 1 riser and then the landing.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
just extends the stairs
And then
further
it's-
front to back.
Correct. And then with that, we can probably get out of that window well, another 10 or 12 inches. I mean,
Yeah.
8 inches roughly on the risers. So we
Yeah,
take
that'd
one
be
out,
my
there's
idea.
8.
You're
and we've
just
got a
coming
couple
up
more
into
inches,
that.
So we could probably lower that a foot.
Coming up into that dormer
Yeah.
area, you've got plenty of room.
Yeah.
Are you going to add that extra tread up top of the stairs, or split the landing?
I think we can do away with it because our vertical rise
Just,
is less now. If we don't add the second top plate.
okay,
So we end up with an 8'6" or 8'7.5" ceiling rather than 9. This was based on 9.
mm-hmm,
To answer your question, David, the reason we didn't want to flip the stairs to the other side is really about the only outdoor living space someone would have. is on the opposite side of the driveway.
Yeah,
And so we
Okay.
want that dining.
Okay, that
Just-
makes sense.
Just the purpose for the door.
Yeah.
it
So
it
you've got-
is.
Okay. So you have some plans for some sort of little patio out there?
Yeah.
There's a
that's kinda-
deck on that side now, right?
Yeah, it's more in the rear. The
Okay.
front deck is off of the addition. And there's lots of, it's a jungle back here right now, but, there's a bit of lawn back there. But, yeah, we have lots of thoughts. There's a couple of hurdles, but nothing we can work through the area or the units outside. Roughly. There's also an old store door out there that is more towards the west of the property. Shadow right
I like the thought that went into the little swinging gate there between the garage and the house.
there. Yeah. I mean,
Somebody thought really hard about that.
I mean, it's one of the things that's held up.
So I can comfortably cut one riser on the stairs, just take it out and not have to move it to the front. But we also have room, if we needed to, we have room at the top of the stairs. I just have to be careful because we have the basement stairs, the access to the basement there as well.
Oh, does that go down, does that go down right there?
Yeah,
backside.
I skipped.
but it's a lot, yeah.
Right there
we'll
from
be
the
all right.
kitchen.
We'll be fine, and I can,
Will the cellar door be going away?
pardon?
Is the cellar door going away with this? You said there's a
Yeah,
cellar door in the
that
door?
outside, the exterior cell, yeah. That's what
I'd say ideally it would go away. And obviously anything that would need to come back to get approved we would, but we had some thoughts about doing some sort of pergola on that side. I mean, we just don't know yet.
Right now, the plan for that basement is to house mechanicals. I mean, it's not, they're not intending to use it just for additional, it's where you store your Christmas lights, and you're not using them, or, but it's utilitarian rather than a space to be finished and used as
So
habit.
you can get rid of the closed chute.
Yeah.
We're keeping that.
I have a couple questions just on the application, just to clarify. It says siding, the new siding will be 4-inch fiber cement. Are we still planning on smart side siding, because that's different?
Yeah, it'd be LP. So that application says,
It says 4-inch fiber cement.
yeah, we're looking at the LP smart trim.
And it says asphalt shingles, and then it says dimensional fiberglass shingles. Is that just a typo on the fiberglass
Yeah, that's a
part?
typo, yeah. So
Something
originally,
I haven't seen yet. So.
originally we were looking at that asphalt shingle that is a slate line. Looks kind of like slate, but it's asphalt. In looking at that and in sourcing it and visibility, it's up high enough, it's not going to be visible. So we were looking at just using a architectural dimensional shingle. Still in the dark, black, charcoal gray, slate colors.
And we're spending all the money on the gutters, so.
Yeah.
What are those gutters?
5-inch half round with
Half
clips, 3-inch round downpipes.
In what color? Do we have that?
Galvanized bronze.
Galvanized bronze is what you.
Then all downspouts are all round, obviously. Yeah.
And, I was a little surprised that a 5-inch gutter was gonna handle all that. But when I ran the numbers and 5 inches was fine, actually 4, and something was gonna carry it.
What brand are you putting on there? Do you remember?
I
It looks like a little more heavy duty, solid coil,
Yes.
solid rolled.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. And they've got the actual brackets every 16 inches.
Yep.
Yeah, it's nice, like we're putting
Yeah,
that on the
actual
project
brackets,
right
and then, so the easy job is the guy who doesn't have to put those brackets on. It's the guy who just goes and sets the gutter in. Yeah, but the bracket guy gets up there first and sets the fall, attaches the brackets, and then the trough fits in that and is anchored solid.
I just think it's a much better look. I mean, we were looking, just trying to understand my different options, and there was, it's becoming a thing, that people are using those standard 5-inch aluminum, 5-6-inch aluminum gutters, and then they'll use half-round downspouts. I think this is cool.
Yeah, and that was, so that level of detail was on purpose, right? We were trying to make this as historically accurate architecture as we could get it. Like, we might not we may not be able to source some of the tiny little details, but maybe like thickness of the lap on that siding. I mean, historically, it was a different thickness than what we have today. To recreate that, we would end up custom milling, custom fabricating wood boards for the siding. But so some of that detail are things you wouldn't really, maybe wouldn't notice, like the shadow lines on that lap. But everything else, we try to keep it as historically accurate as we could. Architecturally, at least.
I have a couple questions on windows and doors. Windows, you've got Anderson 200 series white vinyl. Those are all going to be a 2/2 with simulated divided light, not internal grids, correct?
Correct. So be a SDL, we'd have a grid on the outside and a grid on the inside. The profile of that grid is a real simple half round.
It's an actual half round?
Yeah, it's like almost looks like they took a
Like a
big
bull,
dowel
like a
and
bull
just-
nose almost?
Yeah, like a bull nose, yeah.
Is that pretty common in a, that I've
It
seen
was for those windows, yeah. I mean, it's at the time that they did that.
You using like a dark bronze spacer in those for your shadow line?
You're talking for the SDL?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people forget that part and get
Yeah, they do.
a shiny aluminum spacer in there.
You're gonna be hard pressed to catch me not paying attention to a detail. I live in the weeds, where all the lost balls are.
What are the doors? You have a make and manufacturer, make and model?
We do. It's a Stanley door, and Anderson also makes one, but it was different. It just wasn't quite right. The width of the stiles it was just way too much. I mean, they were like 8-inch stiles.
Really wide?
Yeah, really, really wide.
What's the material?
Steel, insulated
It's
steel.
a steel door? And that's a half light. What's the panel work on all the doors here?
The panel, it would be a Georgian style panel, so it's a recessed panel that sticks out.
So you have a raised panel mold?
Raised panel on the inside, yeah.
What about the exterior?
It'd be the same on
Okay.
both sides.
So a single raised panel with a two light,
Yes.
simulated divided light? Okay.
And then for the front door has the two panels. The side and rear door has the single panel.
Is that front door also a glass light?
It is.
Okay, so two vertical panels as opposed to the single panel on the sides. And your stool on the windows, you said that's a 3/4 stool?
3/4 inches thick. It's just going to protrude about the same.
Thought about making that a little thicker out of like a 5/4 piece, just a little
We
more,
could,
little more
just to beef it up a
substantial.
little bit, yeah.
I think it'd be more appropriate with the width of the casing and the head. So is your, so you've got a stool, an apron, simple apron, two casing legs, and then is your head going to be thicker than the casing, so it'll have a little bit of a
Yeah,
reveal there?
there'll be a little bit of a reveal and a shadow
Okay.
across that.
And a crown detail and a cap?
The crown detail with that, we found a couple of them that fit. It's just a straight Georgian. FIPON makes one, as well as AZAC. AZAC is probably the supplier we're going to end up using, just because they also, AZAC is owned by LP, which makes the siding we're going to use.
It's just a standard crown
Yeah.
detail,
Yeah, it's just a standard detail.
not
yeah.
like a cove crown or?
No. Just a simple one piece, it attaches, so it's not something that we have to build up.
A lot easier.
I don't know if anyone heard my comment about the eave returns there with the standing seam metal. I think in the color rendering there, they've got them kind of shown in that same bronze.
There's a black example in bronze.
Yeah, kind of match the bay and the downspouts. Is that what they're going to be, is the bronze?
Yeah,
Black.
Black?
Yeah, black on the returns.
yeah, and so.
To match the roof.
Yes.
Yeah,
And the door?
And we will also do black metal roof on the bay.
Yeah.
to
If
match.
you put it in
Okay.
there, it's bronze, it will be black.
Black, black,
standing seam on the
black,
bay and black
yeah.
standing seam on the returns.
And do you have, there's two renderings that float around. One is the bronze and one is black.
These are both bronze.
No, they're both bronze.
The bay bronze on both, the
Yeah, the-
returns
yeah,
are
the
bronze
bay.
on one.
Yeah.
Returns is black.
Can they do the standing seam on those returns as a solid piece without the
Without the rib?
seams and striations in there? Just to-
They could, it just depends on the width of the panel. Usually they're anywhere from like 10 inches to as much as 14 inches.
Yeah, it just doesn't look, I'm just wondering if they can make their own panel rather than use
Oh, I'm probably
a
sure.
raised panel. It'll look a little more authentic that way.
I was looking
Well,
at
that's-
Cantor's property, sorry about that.
I can't remember what Cantners look like on there.
Cantor's had asphalt shingle, I was just out there the other day, across the street, and I noticed the pork chops.
I'll pull it up.
Do they have pork chops on there?
They
No,
do.
there's no returns?
I think they do, yeah.
I don't fully know what a pork chop is, but I think I'm
It's what's on the house, what's on this house now.
Trade terms.
Yeah, right, this is the returns up there?
But
Yeah, those are proper. That's a boxed cornice return if we're gonna get real
Is the same
technical.
box form?
No, pork
Now see, that doesn't have a, yours has,
We have the hip.
you'll have a hip on the side.
And that's a matching asphalt to roof.
Yeah.
They've got a pretty wide freeze board too.
So the only thing I'll say there, I
Oh,
think I
yeah,
brought this up,
that's
if you haven't seen
I was about to say, it's
those
got the
in the
little house
same
there.
color as the fascia, it's really sharp.
New house.
Instead of that contrasting color.
That's Cantor's
Yeah,
property.
Not with me.
So you would do white-
Jennifer would probably throw you 10 of them, about 5
So you would do
seconds.
white metal on this?
Whatever matches the trim. It's just a really
Yes.
clean, sharp look, and it's not such a stark contrast. I
That
think
is-
it's, and it was much more typical back in the day that they would match it and not have it be a different color.
This house is pretty close.
Yeah.
The other house you're working on, where this is the
It's a little
same
more
color.
subtle.
Oh, I see.
It just kind of breaks down the busyness a little bit. Sometimes it's hard to get the color, you have to use a galvanize and paint it to match.
Sure.
To get it to look, which in my opinion just makes it look older.
Yeah. I think that's good.
Yeah, this is way more updated than mine.
I don't have any others on top of my head.
I'm not sure if this is the right question to ask, or if I'm opening up a can of worms. But I would love your guys' opinion on the bronze look half-round gutter.
You're not allowed to ask them?
Okay. But I think, I like the bronze. I also like white. So in that discussion of bronze look or a white half-round,
So is that a dark bronze or is that a bronze?
It's designed to look like copper that is in the middle
Half patina?
of, it's in the middle of the patina transition. So,
My only issue with that personally is it just doesn't always look authentic. That color, yeah, it's like that,
the other.
we made this look patina.
Yeah, right.
It's not
Looks
quite,
forced.
yeah, forced patina.
Forced.
Yeah, I personally, I mean, if you're looking for a contrasting color, I think the dark bronze also would look nice on this. It's-
dark bronze.
Yeah,
See,
it's
now
just,
look
it's
at
not
the
black, but
windows.
it's kind of a,
See their windows?
Here's another house that has these returns the same colors of trim.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's great.
And that's our
It's not the
window.
same kind of return, but
Similar, yeah.
similar.
It's way better than that pork chop.
I'll start using that term.
Dark, rather sharp.
What's the arch detail there above the door? The entry door?
Yeah, what is it? It's not a window, it's not glazed. So it's a composite material, Fycon makes them, it's a window head that's part of the Georgian revival. And actually, if you look at the White House, there's the Tuscan Order and the Doric Order, which are cousins, is the White House. So you look at the White House, you'll see in the windows, you'll see a barrel head like that. And then right next to it is a peak pediment, and right beside it is the elliptical, the barrel, and then a peak. So they alternate, which was a common thing that they did back then. You can see that a lot
Whereas
in
this one-
classical architecture.
It's almost like this one would need to be this way.
So the reason that is rounded and not peaked is we looked at the original pediment that was pitched,
But then you're gonna
but
run
we
into
wanted to highlight the front door.
the corners.
We wanted to do something that's a little bit different to catch your eye, and which draws you right into that porch.
Yeah, I think it's a little softer, inviting. I like it.
Steve told me when he included that, he showed me that same detail on the White House.
Oh.
Yeah. So I took it, whoever that guy was, I stole her radio. Whoever did the White House.
So are those, is that a plinth block detail there on the front door?
It is.
Okay. And what is above that as far as the casing? Does that have like a back band or is that a panel detail?
Actually, both Fycon and AZEC makes a single unit that's that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it recessed in the center?
Yeah, it is. It's
Okay.
recessed with the centerpiece is smooth.
Okay. So it kind of looks like a back band?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yeah, that's a dark brown.
Here, rather than that.
Is that what you have?
I just Googled dark brown's better. I think I'm better.
Yeah, they're more in that range.
More
That's-
than that.
Yeah,
I really like that. I think I look good with that brick apron
I think so too.
and with that.
I just think it's, sometimes that other color can come off as a little obnoxious.
Harsh.
Yeah.
That's
And
a
again,
great
I think Mr. Lynch's comment, forced patina is spot on.
Yeah, the only way to really look like Lady Liberty is to be as old as Lady Liberty. If you're gonna get copper, you want that green patina. Or
Yeah.
stick an old penny on your car battery for a couple of years. And it'll,
Yeah, I'm with you. I would, to clarify, I like the white.
Cornice returns?
Eyebrows are not the right term for that?
no, it's a Cornish return. The pork chops are on the dormers.
I can Google that later.
That's the pork chop.
Okay.
That's the pork chop.
So that's white there.
That's the cornice return.
Seems
guys
like
are
that
making-
should be a pork chop,
you
but
guys
I
are
like
making
it.
Making you hungry?
I like the white Cornish return, painted, you're talking the painted galvanized to match the color of the,
Yeah, I mean, maybe there's a fair amount of colors. You might find something that's pretty close.
and you're saying just on the return.
Just on those Cornice returns, or Eve returns, yeah.
So you're saying the eve returns match the gutters?
No, match the trim.
The trim,
So they're all-
okay.
Yeah, so it takes the busyness down several notches.
The
It's pretty
fascia
stark.
return, but not the roof portion of it?
Correct.
Okay, got it.
The fascia and the metal all kind of come together there
And
as
then the
one.
metal would be what color?
The same as the fascia.
Same
white.
white.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, or something really close to it.
More
If you-
boxy
If you
look,
can't
right.
get it, you can paint it, yeah.
No, that's great. The gutters,
Look less busy.
I would, was the term just got off, but people was the term used for
Which part, I'm sorry?
the gutters.
The gutters.
The ones that the color you suggested.
Dark bronze?
Yeah, dark bronze.
This is, just for frame of reference, this is an actual copper gutter. And that's a copper roof that patina in town.
Oh, is that Woodrow's house?
Yeah,
Is that a real copper gutter?
that's a real copper gutter.
Wow, it's turned to that, huh?
That's surprising.
Yeah, and that's the copper roof that it stayed shiny copper penny color for about 8 months and then started turning green and then turned this color about 2 years later.
That's nice.
Yeah, and it'll take, for copper, for real copper, to really get that green patina, you're looking at 10 years or so. Or a dozen, maybe.
I remember
Yeah.
when that was copper.
It didn't last long, it didn't stay copper long.
As far as your trim goes, we were talking, a discussion on the smart trim. I like the siding product. I've had a lot of issues on projects I've been a part of where the trim has failed. Just don't know if you guys had any discussions about that, or possibly trying it out in a James Hardy or a true exterior as opposed to smart trim. I do like the siding part of it, the 4-inch siding. I feel like their siding holds up a lot better, but
What have you had better success with?
I'm a big true exterior fan. It's a little bit pricey. It's just a fantastic product, and it mills easy. It looks just like old wood. You want to use a smooth side, and obviously in this, it has a rough side on it as well.
I'm just not, I have to run.
I mean, it looks similar. The smart trim and James Hardy, I think, look almost identical. It's just the fasteners is where I've seen it fail, and that's a decision you can make. I'm a little hesitant to see that spread around the historic district, just because with my experience and how well it holds up.
Yeah.
One answer to a question that came up, an answer to the gutters, Spectra is the brand.
Okay.
Single piece roll aluminum.
And Pete, you were saying to me before the meeting that the LP trim, the way you've seen it fail is when you shoot the nails through it, it will penetrate more than one of the layers into it. And if it doesn't get backfilled and caught correctly, then where those nail penetrations went, it'll start to swell and pop the trim off.
There and seams, I mean, a lot of those materials, you need to back prime every cut.
Yeah.
Probably 9 out of 10, it's the application,
Yeah.
user error. But it fails. What I like about True Exterior is you can submerge it in water. It's a fantastic product for that, but just a recommendation. I guess my holdup on this is, we're talking about changing windows and stairs and a couple things that are gonna change the overall appearance of this.
Are we against, obviously, I think the agreed upon, if I'm understanding correctly, desire is for these windows to be the same size in height.
You're talking just on the
On the
front?
lower, the first floor, first in the front elevation, for those windows to be the same size.
Mhm.
I see really no issue with us being able to mirror the window on the left, mirror the window on the right with the window on the left.
Or very, very close to it, within a few inches. I mean, without batting an eye, I can tell you that I can get that window on the right another foot longer.
Well, then I
Just-
think
Just by reworking that stair.
they could both be the same height.
Yeah, because the discrepancy is in the length of the short one, not in the height of the tall one, right? So you're really gonna notice the extra foot on the short window more than you will miss the 3
Sure.
inches less on the
Agreed.
long one.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah, wait, that's a good call.
So is it fair to say we could make those changes, downsize the columns of fuzz or scale?
Mhm.
I mean, you said, do we want to see them revised?
I think so.
Okay.
I just feel like that,
No, I agree
I
with
think
you.
there's a lot of great attributes here. I just still feel those are a little heavy. I'd love to see the scale and see the windows right and make sure you can make it work structurally before we say, yeah, let's do that. And then you're like,
Make
We could-
what
the
we're-
stairs,
make the
making the
windows and
stairs work.
structurally.
seems like it's not gonna be too hard to do.
Is that something that we submit to staff review, administrative review?
I guess I'm kind of wondering if we just table it and make those changes, and then I think we're on the road to.
Are we against, obviously I have an interest in getting this project started. Are we against being as when, I think we have some time on a construction basis for us to make the changes to the columns on the front, downsizing of those, and then the windows on the front as well. I think that, not understanding how you guys prefer that to be done, I think that I would ask if we could come back to review those two items, understanding that everyone seems to be on a similar page, that we want those two windows to be the same size, we want a maximum size, and we want those posts to be adjusted on the smaller end of us towards the corner to be a little less distracting. Are we opposed to coming back for those details while still seeking the approval for the rest?
Yeah, and if I can piggyback on top of that, if those are the two issues, is the columns and the windows there front, none of those, neither of those two issues are directly affected by the residential building code. We don't have egress issues, we don't have structural issues. The structure is going to be inside the column regardless of the size.
Yeah.
And with that living room, we don't have the egress glazing, clear opening size issues to contend with. So relating to the building code, we could go ahead and address pretty much all the code issues. Those two issues are purely aesthetic as far as the building code is concerned.
So you want to see if you can get started? So you have to submit for building permit?
Yeah, submit for building permit, because
When do you want to do that?
he would like to do it tomorrow by noon. I think I might need 5 o'clock. But we have, post haste, we would do that right away.
Is the plan to, I guess, brace everything on the inside, rip the roof off, rip the rear addition off, and just kind of figure it out? I mean, obviously, if you're,
Yeah,
you've got some
we're gonna-
architectural, but there's gonna be some
Yeah.
adapting in there.
It was here last week, or last month, is a Frank Retrofit, so 35 years expertise in that, which is why he's on that project. So I want to make sure that's done correctly. We've done a couple projects like this, which I'd love to, when we call, I can get his answer on how you do that exactly.
I could tell he knew what he was talking about when we had a discussion with the framing in
And that-
detail, so.
That's a means and methods issue, so that's not something I would address architecturally or in construction documents.
But my goal, personally, is I want it to be open air for as little time as possible.
Sure.
Right.
Just to make sure I'm on the same page, it sounds like, Pete, are you asking the rest of the board if it makes sense to come back with a drawing that has the columns skinnied up and then the windows adjusted to review it? Or are you suggesting that those are two things that the board feels comfortable making a decision that the front elevation windows match in scale and the columns go from a 15 to a 12, and then you would approve it or vote on it to approve it this evening, and then if there's any changes afterwards, that can come back to deviate from those items?
I like that, that's what we did with the last application.
I'm all right with that.
And I
I
would
say
like,
approve with the, those changes being noted.
And then if you guys take a look at it after you draw it and you don't like it, then you can come back?
well, and what I
Yeah.
would, I don't want to be, if we could say, just reduce the column size, rather than giving a dimension, because that 12 inches may be too spindly. But reducing the columns, yes, to a more appropriate scale.
That to me at least seemed like the most change rather than just like notes on the drawings as they've been discussed this night for the conditions. I wanted to make sure that was my
Yeah.
understanding as well.
Yeah, and I just wanted to bring that up. I mean, everything else, me personally, I feel pretty good about.
And then we all are under the understanding that the house will go from 26.5 1/4 to like 26.2. Like the whole, everything will drop a couple inches with
Yeah.
reducing a floor plate. Or,
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
okay, I just want to make sure all that was kind of known, if anybody wants to make a motion.
Do we need to add in there the flat metal on the pork chops and the colors and what have you?
Yeah, I think so. There's a few things we want to,
Do you have that all
dial
noted?
in. I think so. Do we have any other questions?
In other words, what you're telling me is make the motion.
Get it. I would like to make a motion to approve application CA-25-049 with the following conditions. Number one, that the siding is going to be a 4-inch LP smart side, not fiber cement, in the color sage green and the trim white. The roof is going to be a dark, are we saying black or just dark? Asphalt.
It may not be black, it might be a really dark charcoal.
I think dark.
Dark dimensional asphalt shingle. For the front porch, we are going to reduce the size of the column slightly and view a future elevation at the next meeting. Also, we're going to resize the two windows so that they are the same. Probably to kind of revisit that third window around the side for proportion as well. Windows are to be the Anderson 200 series in white vinyl with simulated divided light, no internal grids, with a dark bronze spacer. And doors are spec'd to be a Stanley door, insulated steel door with a single raised panel and a half light. I believe that's it.
What about the color of
And the gutters?
The gutters.
the gutters and the returns?
Sorry.
Smooth metal on the returns.
Yeah, the eve returns will have smooth metal painted the same as the fascia,
Gutters.
and the gutters are to be a dark bronze color.
And then the bay window roof.
Bay window roof is spec to be dark as well, standing seam.
Bronze to match the gutters.
Probably want to go that route, yeah.
Yes.
Dark bronze to match the gutters.
Yes.
Okay, so I got,
I'll second that if there's nothing else to add.
so I have number one, siding be 4-inch LP smart side, green with white trim. Number two, roof be a dark dimensional asphalt shingle. Number three, the porch columns be reduced slightly in diameter. Number four, the front windows be the same size. Number five, the windows on the whole house are in Anderson SDL with a dark bronze spacer. Number six, Stanley doors with half light and raised panels. 7, the eave returns be smooth metal painted to match the fascia. Number 8, the gutters be a dark bronze, and number 9, the bay window roof be a dark bronze to match the gutters.
One thing we didn't, I think, conclude was on the trim, material for the trim, as opposed to a smart side. Are you open to a suggestion there?
Yeah, so we could do the, either like an AZAC,
I
which
don't
is,
know if we, AZIC wise, have we
approved any of that?
That wouldn't be my first suggestion for you, just because of the movement is pretty incredible. I just haven't had a whole lot of.
yeah, but we're open to whatever.
I would be okay with,
AZIC
with
or
a
plastic?
James Hardy composite or a true exterior material with a smooth side out.
Find that for you.
Well, you mentioned AZIC because of the LP ownership with AZIC,
Yeah.
right?
For the crown molding detail,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then the AZAC is, it's just a closed cell. It's It's not
It's
really-
PVC.
Yeah, that's a PVC, yeah. But the way they do it though is, they have some other additives with it. So the adhesive that they use is, it's almost like a chemical weld. So when you get two trim pieces, you chamfer it, lay them over with that, and it'll chemically weld it into a single piece. So, which is kind of cool, because you don't ever get the cracks and caulk and weeds and some of those. So, but there are some other than AZAC, there are some other manufacturers. It's almost like Trex decking versus the Timber Tech versus, you know, they're all,
That's some flexibility on that.
Composite, some
yeah,
composite.
it'd be a composite though. Yeah.
So number 10, trim is hardy or other composite material.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pat, can I get you to second that if you agree?
I second that.
Roll call, David Craycraft.
Yes.
Patrick Lynch.
Yes.
Whit Wardell.
Yes.
Pete Lynch.
Yes.
Roger White, yes.
And then I think just to keep everything consistent, when you have your updated renderings, let's just do that as new and old business next meeting, not reopen the application unless it's necessary during the old and new business section. So that way only one of you have to be here to go over it, and it should just be a pretty quick update to it.
Sounds good. Sure.
Very good.
The next application for same subject property, CA 25050, is, I apologize, my template here is wrong. It's to construct a new detached garage on the subject property. The garage component is a zoning requirement for this subject property. So majority of the Old Town area exists in a overlay that has an exemption for meeting any parking requirements. This property is on the wrong side of the street of that overlay, so there is a parking requirement to be met. That our normal residential parking standards require one garage space at minimum for any residential house that's over 1,100 square feet in size. So since this house exceeds 1,100 square feet, a garage is required. So the applicant this evening is proposing that garage component for the back. This request comes with two alternatives for the Landmarks Commission's review. The first is for a one-story, two-and-a-half car garage. This meets all zoning requirements for the requirement for a garage and is also within the threshold for the maximum size of building and height for a detached building. The applicant is also requesting a second alternative to be reviewed, option B. Option B would be adding a half-story to the upper part of the garage for a bonus room. This garage height does require a variance from the Planning and Zoning Commission, but in order for the applicant to get processed on their building permits tomorrow at 5 o'clock, whenever they can have those ready, at a minimum, option A needs to be approved by the Landmarks Commission, while option B, if Landmarks Commission does approve of that as a path to move forward, to have a taller building, that would be on the Planning and Zoning's agenda potentially for January or February, depending on when the applicants file. So this request is kind of in two parts. One, to see if the Landmarks Commission is okay with a taller building, but also to keep the building permit process moving for them. They have to have a garage in their submittal to my office. So that's why there's two options here this evening for you all. Just in case either you or Planning and Zoning Commission does not approve the taller building, they can still start the project on the house. So to go over some of these elevations here real quickly, they're showing matching siding, shingles and gutters to the house. The man door on the garage is a 6-panel solid door. The garage door is a 16-panel solid door. The one-story option has one window on each short end of the building with some decorative gable vents. When looking at the two-story option, The first floor window is limited to only the south elevation, while the upper floor has dual windows on both ends of the building, as well as one single window on the south elevation. The windows on the garage are shown to have a composite shutter. It looks like there are S-clips that are spec'd in the drawings as well. Again, the difference here is one of these options is zoning compliant for the height, the other one is not, requires additional step from the applicant. From my end, it does not make a difference to me if you guys approve one or the other or both of these options as presented or with conditions. It really just sets the path on if the applicant can apply for the variance, and then planning and zoning can review the variance for what's on your screen for option B. Applicant's here to answer any questions you guys have on this part of the project.
So which one do you guys prefer?
We prefer the two-story.
However, if you only approve the two-story, then they have to wait on submitting their building permits.
Oh. We need to approve the one-story if they want to keep going with this.
Adam,
And then they would come back.
that would benefit their timeline, yes.
But we still have to go to BZAP and apply for variance, you know, to do the two-story.
Mm-hmm. But to keep the process moving, you need the smaller garage to be
Yeah,
approved.
so if the variance isn't approved, then this is our garage. If they approve the variance, then
We're seeking approval for both. Option A, option
You see option B again, please?
And just before somebody calls me out, the S clips will be on the outside edge of the gutter, or the shutters, not the inside.
What's the height of the garage
shutter
versus the
dogs there?
height of the house?
The garage is shown at
Dog
21.9. The house, with the adjustments being made, would be at 26.3,
Okay.
26.2. So one of the items that staff had to work with the applicant on extensively with this garage proposal here was to keep the garage height under 22 feet. 22 feet is the higher end of the average of what the Landmarks Commission has recommended to Planning and Zoning and what the Planning and Zoning Commission has approved. So to keep things kind of consistent with other garage variance requests, this was one item the applicant has worked on. The garage did start out at 26 feet. It was the same height as the house, so to keep the scale down to be smaller than the main residential structure was an item we worked through internally.
How's this garage compare in height to some of the other ones like I see on Columbus Street? About the same?
So the ones right behind our building here, those are taller than this, but
Okay.
those are all also historic buildings.
Yes.
With the exception of one of them that was approved in the 90s, I believe.
Okay.
Since I've been with the city the last 10 years, the tallest detached garage building that the Planning and Zoning Commission has approved was just over 22 feet tall.
Hannah's?
No, his is at, you did Hannah's. Hannah's is at 19. The garage door is like flush with the ceiling when you open it.
That is low, yeah.
It's really low on the first floor. The two-story garage on Mound, that yellow one, that one's at like 22 and a half.
Okay. And this is finishing at what, 21, almost 22 feet?
21.
21.9?
Nine.
Yeah, 21 feet 9 inches.
And that's to grade, and grade is defined per the RCO, which is 6 inches below top of foundation minimum.
That drops off quite a bit.
Yeah, it does.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
You know, I don't, I guess, have a problem with either one of these, as long as all the materials and such match the existing structure. Back to windows, I would probably take this option B, left elevation, and put some windows there. I know their staircase goes up on the bottom side of it, but a window or something to put on the upper side, I think would be fine. Yeah, that's just my comment about it. The height of it, I think we already have a couple, you know, two-story garages here that it's, they've been built and they don't look bad. I mean, I think kind of adds to the history of our community, and yeah, I'm fine with it, but.
Are you referring to the bottom left elevation, or the bottom right?
This one.
Was that?
That's the one you're referring to.
Yeah, window here or up top, you got staircase going one way or the other, but up top there, you have a window. I just don't like large blank walls. It's just, and most of our garages do have windows around them because they were built years ago, and everything had windows years ago because the only way to get air in and out of
Yeah.
the building. So,
No, it's just for my clarity.
yeah.
Speaking of, that was something
Go
I
ahead.
thought of on your first application on the rear with all that shake above the garage door, that a small window might dress that up back there. Anyway, different application. I had a question on the dormers here. When you look at the front elevation and you look at that dormer roof not making it quite all the way to the peak, is that, which way is it gonna be?
It is going to go to the peak,
Okay.
yeah.
So it'll be like the right and left elevation.
Good catch there.
Yeah.
I can't think of a time we've approved any composite shutters as far, maybe composite, but are we talking vinyl or
It is a composite material.
composite? Okay.
Solid core, so it's not hollow. It is an extruded, it's like the PVC open cell. So it's a dense composite material. They do, when they mold those, they do put some stiffening rods in it.
Keep
so
them
that-
from warping.
Keep them from warping or puckering, so they are.
Are these actual functional open,
They're
close?
not, but,
They're not?
you
Okay.
know, but they sure look like they are.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, when
Well,
when
they're
drawn.
sized appropriately.
Yeah.
Is your change to the landmark pro shingle, does it allow for a 312 roof pitch?
It does. 312 is the minimum that the manufacturer recommends on that certain brand of shingle.
So for the siding, again, we've got fiber cement. We're gonna use a 4-inch smart side.
Yeah.
And it says 6-inch fiber cement trim, but on here it says a 4-inch composite trim. Seems like 6 inches is gonna be kinda heavy.
Yeah, so it's
The 6-inch trim, I apologize, is for the top of the windows.
Just the top?
just over the top of the
Okay.
windows, of the window edge, yeah.
Okay.
The house itself
Heads in.
was 6.
Yeah.
There's not
Basically,
a,
we're copying the same details on the house.
Okay, that was my question. Same window trim. So would
Windows,
would
window
it
trim.
mimic the second floor kind of dumbed down trim a little bit?
Yeah, it would, yeah. Even on the first floor. So if you look at this as well.
Right, so the first and second floor of the garage will match the second floor detail of the
Yes.
house. Okay.
Yeah, and the only difference in detail on the garage versus the house would be the shutters.
and the
Why'd
door.
you choose to use shutters on it? I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Because it's a garage, so it's a throwback to the old carriage house.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Make it look a little more period-like.
A little more period-esque, period time. But in 1922, they still rode horses, you know. And there are a lot of, so a lot of these garages, or garages that you have today, were originally old carriage houses. So,
I was gonna ask that same question.
Pardon?
I was gonna ask that
You
same
were gonna ask the
question.
same
Why are you
question.
putting shutters on
garage and not the
but not
house.
the house.
What is the detail on the shutter? Is that like a raised panel?
It is.
Okay. Any thought to just a standard louvered shutter?
Other than the louvered shutter wasn't accurate to the period.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just try to do it architecturally or historically
Yeah.
accurate.
And is that man door also a Stanley door?
It's a Stanley.
Okay, just
Steel insulated.
no glass light?
Correct.
Gutters wall match the house?
Windows match the house,
Yep.
roof.
Roof, yeah, trim.
Well, I think either garage is fine.
I agree, they just need approval for a variance.
Yes,
To
so,
get
so
those
option
two-story.
A allows them to move forward with a building permit. Option B, they'd have to wait till planning and zoning determines if the variance is acceptable or not. So the ideal path is to approve, for them is to approve both. But at a minimum for a zoning requirement, I would need at least option A.
Or we can push
So they
it
can
through and say A
submit.
and B,
You could say, you can say A and B,
but only build one.
correct?
3-story.
Yeah.
So, one more question on the 2-foot diameter louvered vent. What is that? Is that a
It's-
composite or is that a vinyl?
It's a composite as well. That, I try to stay away from vinyl just because it twists, it puckers, it,
Is it functional?
no, it's just ornamentation. Venting would be through continuous ridge vent and then also up through slotted vented soffits.
Personally, I think decorative vents are useless. Just,
I feel like the round one just has a modern edge to it. It's
Rather a square one?
Rather than a square
Or none?
vent. Or none. I don't mind the vents as long as they just don't look cheap and, I know it's back here
That's
on the
how I-
garage.
And I also, I hate to see when they put vents and they just apply it. Like it needs to be,
Cut around.
yeah, it needs to be cut around and installed, yeah.
Just had a huge argument about that last week.
So what, it's either no vent
I
or a
lost.
square vent?
I like the square vent personally as opposed to that round vent. I just feel
Square or
like that's-
rectangular? Like
Rectangular.
Okay.
Yeah, rectangular. And I think that proportion's probably not too bad.
No, that's about right, yeah.
and there is one shown on the option B. And Pat, I was looking at your comment, I didn't have it in my slide, but adding a window to that that left elevation.
Yes.
If you look at the floor plan, the stairs don't line up in the center. So that window would be lower in height than the other elevation. So it wouldn't sit, that window wouldn't sit up here, it would sit like down lower and closer to that trim board. Because the exit for the stairs is right here.
Oh, it's right there. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't exit here, it exits all the way back here. So that window would have to be dropped.
I guess I'm not following why it would have to be dropped.
I guess I just assumed it would because you have a ceiling above it.
We do, yeah. it's
Be the
top of
same as the
stairs.
other side though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think it'd still be the same as the other side.
Same as
You've
the other
got that-
side.
You've got that room.
Might be a little higher to reach.
Yeah.
Because you gotta reach it from the staircase, but, if it was smaller, I don't, you're not gonna see one side to the other, so.
I just assumed there would be a ceiling following the roof and not open all the way up to the top.
Oh, I see what you mean, a stair
Follow the stairs.
ceiling going all the way up, is there, or?
Yeah.
There is,
Yeah.
okay.
So your
I
window
s- I
would
said
have to,
correct it
would
again.
have to go down.
Yeah, I see what you mean. If it's a stairwell. Okay.
Because I thought the same thing too about adding a window, but once I looked at how his dots are on this sheet, in the other sheet, this is kind of like your clear space. And that threshold for that door is gonna be like right here.
Yeah, we slide right in at the headroom.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm drawing it out. I guess ixnay on the window way there.
And that faces the north, correct?
Let's see.
Yes.
Yes,
This is left.
correct. It faces the neighbor's garage.
This faces it, it's on the south. If your door is here, then your stairs are on that side, so your stairs would be going up on this end.
Right. Yeah, so that gable, the windowless gable faces the neighbor's garage.
Do you have to fire rate this building?
We don't.
5 feet away from the property line?
No, it says 10 feet from another structure is the fire rating.
Okay.
Does this application approve the demo of the two garages?
The prior
Is that
application,
second?
yeah.
That's part of that, okay.
We have any further questions?
I do not.
I would like to make a motion to approve application CA-25-050,
Approving both option A and option B for the variance for planning and zoning, with the conditions that the siding is to match the house in a 4-inch smart side with 4-inch fiber cement or composite casing, 6-inch heads. The roof is also to match the house as a Landmark Pro dimensional asphalt shingle. Windows are also to match the house, with the more simple second story detail on the house to be the same for the whole garage. The door, man door, will match the house and be a Stanley door. 6-panel gutters also to match the house in dark bronze. Garage door as presented, and the shutters also as presented, with one change to the round vent as a rectangular vent that is non-operable. Anything I missed?
I'll second.
Thank you, Dave.
So, I apologize, number 1, option A and B approved. Number 2, variance recommendation to P and Z. Number 3, siding is a 4-inch smart side with a 4-inch fiber cement or composite trim. Number 4, windows and roof match the house. Number 5, man door is a solid 6-panel Stanley door. Number 6 is gutters match the house. What was 7 and 8?
Garage door as presented, and changing the circular non-operable vent to a rectangular vent.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Roger White, yes. Pete Lynch,
Yes.
David Craigcraft,
Yes.
Patrick Lynch,
Yes.
Whit Wardell.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Good
Thank
luck.
you.
Exciting project.
Appreciate your help.
Got your work cut out for you on that one.
Very fun.
Mind if I stop by every once in a while?
We still gotta do it all.
That's right.
We might charge admission.
Bring my hard hat.
So my note-
Yeah, it'll be a nice improvement on that street.
Yeah. I'm hoping.
For old new business, just want to thank you guys for another great year. 50 applications, my guess at the beginning of this year was 60, so we were a little off. We slowed down towards the end of the year, but the beginning of the year, I think we were at like 20-some applications 3 months in, so you guys had a very consistent year. Lots of really good applications this year. I think Kevin's gonna bring a couple more next year for you guys to look at, so hopefully you didn't wear them out tonight. Real quickly, Kevin, before you take off, the submittal deadline for the variance is this upcoming Monday. by 4 o'clock. So, call me tomorrow so we can go over the application, because I know we haven't even like looked at that together yet. But thank you guys for this year. Linda wanted me to tell you guys thank you so much for her time here. She had a blast. She wants to focus on the Historical Society, so she's stepping down from this and some other commitments she has. But she's doing a lot of volunteer work through them, trying to update their records and do some historical inventory on people of interest in Canal and their history, so that's eating up a lot of her time. We do have one vacancy for Landmarks Commission with their absence. We did receive one application yesterday for it. For the commission's kind of frame of reference, the person that I need to fill that position is a business or municipal, excuse me, a business or an industrial owner or manager in the city limits. All of you have unique criteria that have to be met. That's the one that I'm trying to fill. So if you have any recommendations for that very specific set of rules, feel free to have them reach out to me. They can apply. The one person that did apply does meet that criteria, so I at least have one, but it's nice to give the mayor a couple options too. I'm way over. We're looking to have applications in by January 5th. That way we can take it to council so they can serve the January meeting here on Landmarks Commission. Other than that, I don't have anything else, but have happy holidays, enjoy Christmas. Stay warm, and I'll see you in 5 weeks.
Thank
Right.
Fine.
And you as well.
I have a question. Did you do those watercolors or those computer generated?
Yeah, right.
You did those? Nice work. Very nice. Yeah.
That's old school right there.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's a
Yeah.
dying art right there.
Steve, can I get can you send me a copy of those, scan them? That way I can add them, just since they were brought to the meeting for record.
I did the first one, but then it turned out to be Steve.
That was good, yeah.
Can I get a motion for adjournment, please?
I'd like to motion to adjourn. The time is 9:18.
Second,
Roll call, David Craycraft.
yes.
Pat Lynch.
Yes.
Whit Wardell.
Yes.
Pete Lynch.
Yes.
Roger White, yes.
Is that you seconding?
Yes.